I am always searching Instagram for easy meals that make my weeknights simpler when I found Home with Heart. Emily Hart is a mom of 4 who shares recipes even for the hard days when you still need to put dinner on the table. And here to share more about these affordable, minimal ingredient meals is Emily Hart. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Kelly. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, we are so excited to have you because, as everyone knows, I'm not the best in the kitchen, but I've been following you because you really do make meals simple, and I appreciate you for that.
That is always the goal. That is always the goal, yes.
So what are we making today? Because lasagna usually
takes a long time. It takes a long time. So today we are making my Skillet Lazy Lasagna. You're not lazy for making it. We're working smarter, not harder. So we're taking out a few steps, using some store-bought ingredients and putting it all together. So right now we are just finishing browning our beef. I've got a mix of ground beef and mild Italian sausage. You can use whatever you have, whatever your family likes, but I just feel like this kind of combo of 50-50.
I've never heard of the combo. I was smelling the Italian sausage.
Good. That's the sausage.
Good.
Yes, okay. Yeah. So I always like, whenever I'm browning my meat, I like to get it really small and cook it a little extra to where it's almost crispy. I just feel like it just tastes better in the sauce that way. So I'm gonna hand that to you.
I will not mess this up.
Don't mess it up. You can't mess it up. It's okay. We're just going to kind of move it around a little bit. It's almost all the way cooked. And while you do that, I will get our garlic going.
You like fresh garlic? It's important.
You know, I use fresh garlic sometimes, but I'm also a fan of what I like to call jarlic, which is already pre-minced in a jar, lasts a long time in the fridge. But today we're gonna do fresh. So we're doing 3 to 4 cloves, and we can just kind of scrape that off.
I can help you there. I love garlic.
We'll add a little bit more just so it smells extra good.
Yum. And about how long all in would you say something like this would take for you to make during the week?
I like all of my dinners to be right around 30 minutes. Like, long day with the kids, coming home from work, whatever it is, like, the easier the better. So this comes together in right around, if I can get this to work, right around 30 minutes.
Okay. And how do you deal, because you have 4 kids, you know, we were both talking about how we're from big families as well.
Yes, middle children.
Unite. Yes. How do you get all the different like palettes, like, you know, everyone happy?
I always try with every recipe that I make. I think, you know, I have a couple picky kids. Some of my kids will eat whatever I make, but I always know a separate way that I can serve it. So like my pickiest kid, I would probably set aside some of the raviolis, serve it with butter, give her some extra vegetables on the side.
Exactly.
Like, there's always a way to turn any of the ingredients you're using into an easy kind of second meal for your picky kids.
Definitely.
Yes. Okay, so now we are adding, of course, store-bought marinara sauce. We're making it easy. You can definitely make your own, but I'm certainly not going to. Pour that in.
All right. Incorporate all the meat in there.
Get it all mixed in.
What's next?
Yes, then we are gonna season. You can add whatever seasonings you normally would do for a lasagna or like a spaghetti sauce. I keep it simple. I'm just doing some Italian seasoning.
Perfect.
And I'm gonna do a little bit of salt and pepper. Sometimes I'll add in like, oh, it's not coming out. There we go. Sometimes I'll add in, you know, garlic powder, onion powder, but today we're just keeping it extra simple.
All things are speaking to me.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, and then
you
what's
can do this.
next?
You can
I can do this. This is something that really is speaking to me.
We're gonna do a little pinch of sugar there.
All right.
Oh, we got some sauce. And then what we're gonna do, so normally if we were making this at home, what we would do is we'd bring this to a simmer, let it simmer for just a few minutes. Then we're gonna take out probably 1.5 cups of the sauce, which I'll do.
Okay, is that because you're gonna layer something first and then add this back in?
So we're gonna layer it all in this same skillet, which is what I love about this dinner. One pan, so easy to clean. You can turn this into like a fully 1-pot meal if you wanted to add like spinach, bell peppers, you know, extra hide veggies in there, especially if you have picky kids. Okay, so now we're gonna layer in our raviolis. I like, for this specific lazy lasagna, I like to find a ravioli that has ricotta cheese in it, just so it gives you that real lasagna bite.
Definitely.
So we'll just layer them all on.
I would never think to add raviolis in there.
Right,
but perfect.
it takes out like 2 of the steps because you're not having to boil any noodles and you're not having to make that like cheese mixture. So saves a ton of time. We're going to kind of just like move the pan around a little bit. I like to just get them kind of nestled in there.
Yeah.
There we go. Just like that, we can layer a little bit more of the sauce. Yep, just, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't even have to be all the way covered. It's rustic. It's rustic. Just the way we like it. And then we're topping with cheese. This is just mozzarella.
Yum. You think that this cheese probably works the best, though,
I think it's the best, yeah. Yep.
And then does this bake? What happens after?
Yep, so then we're gonna do 1 more layer so we get that full like lasagna layered feel to it. And then we're gonna pop it in the oven at 350 for about 20 minutes. And it'll be all good to go. I usually broil it a little bit at the end just to get that nice brown cheese on top.
And then it looks like that, which I'm gonna try.
Yes.
And while I'm trying this, your Instagram account, walk us through the content that you have and how you got started. It's so amazing. There you are.
Thank you. Yeah, so I started posting on Instagram about 2 years ago. When I first became a mom, I was a young mom. I was in my early 20s and my son was a toddler, and I had this like shocking realization of, oh my gosh, I have to figure out what's for dinner every single night. How? I don't even know how to cook. So over the next like several years, I just scoured blogs and different recipes and started to just kind of build my own set of recipes. And then as I had more kids, I did everything in my power to just like pare those recipes down to bare minimum, as simple as possible, but still, you know, comforting and delicious at the end of the day.
And you use Trader Joe's ingredients too? Like you make, sometimes you were telling me it's just about assembling, right?
Yes, exactly. So I love Trader Joe's. I buy all of their like, we'll call it semi-homemade items where we can just throw things together. Something I tell my audience a lot is like for example, my little chicken biscuits that I brought.
Yes.
When I posted those, I thought this is way too easy. People are gonna like make fun of me. It was one of my most viral videos because you're just assembling. You're not even cooking. We're throwing it all together and dinner's on the table.
Dinner's on the table, even when you have a busy night, a hard night.
Yes.
This is incredible. Thank you so much. It was absolutely delicious. You
Did
finished
you try it?
I
you want
did.
me to serve you a bowl? Or?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I won't say no. I just started eating out of the pan. Sorry about that. Thank you so much for being here.